everybody. This has been, I guess, a long awaited video. It took me a long time to really contemplate how much I wanted to put in this video and how much I wanted to put out publicly, I guess. So, briefly, I will give Tommy's side of the story. He says that the issues started when I went to Texas to see my grandpa, and when that happened, that's kind of when I came back is kind of when being severely depressed, like, really, I guess, hit me. And at this point, Tommy had himself just, like, I actually held off on my breakdown until Tommy had completely pulled out of, you know, the rut that he was in. And then when he pulled out, I guess I couldn't take it anymore. I just kind of broke, and that's what led to me staying in the hospital. And I was very angry because with everything that I was going through, he kind of tried to just make it about him, like saying like, oh, I only went to the hospital because he wanted to work a 7-day week that week, and I was trying to prevent him from doing that. And you know, I even tried to apologize for this, and now I'm just kind of like, that was stupid. It wasn't something that deserved an apology. And anyway, how I view it at this point, now that I'm almost 2 months out from the breakup, how I view it is, the breakup happened because he couldn't handle that I was going through something and I needed things to be about me for once, and I don't think he could handle that. You know, when he was going through a lot and he didn't want to go to work, I was very understanding. So, you know, at this point, how I view it is, it's very sad, and it's devastating because basically now our kids don't get to grow up in an intact family. I don't get to have the person Tommy used to be. You know, like, the person he used to be was so amazing, and it's so devastating to me that he's just not that person anymore. Like, I understand people grow and people change, but Tommy had one thing about him that was very, very special. He was different than other people, you know what I mean? He had the drive to have a real family, an intact family. And the thing is when you choose somebody to be your life partner, whether it's because you gave them a promise ring, an engagement ring, whether you got married to them, it's so pathetic to just wake up one day and be like, oh, nope, can't do it anymore. That's essentially what happened. He didn't want to deal with the fact that I was going through something and that I needed his full, undivided support. He couldn't handle that. It's so sad because it's like, he said something along the lines of, oh, we just don't work. To me, that is such a sad, pathetic, and complete and utter bullshit excuse that, to me, like, in this day and age, relationships don't work because when something's broken, instead of fixing it, people just throw it in the garbage. Like, in this lifetime, to anybody watching this video, if there's one person in this world that amazes you and you feel like you should always be there for that person, always be there for that person, is what I'm going to say, because you know what? You will never find a perfect life partner. Some people do, but most people do not. Most people are two very different people who just happen to fall in love with each other. That's kind of how I view it. And you know what? I think the worst part of this whole thing is that, like, 2 days before he broke up with me, he told me he loved me. Like, that makes me so sick to my stomach to think about now, and to think about how much I cried, and to think about how much I begged him to not just throw everything in the garbage. It makes me so sick how he was able to just stand there and act like it was nothing. Like, it just, at this point, it's sickening, and it's so saddening to me. Like, if I could, and looking back over everything in our relationship, if I could do one thing over, I used to tell myself I would have never broke. I would have never allowed my depression to get the best of me. But let me tell you something. My life has not always been peachy, and I have dealt with my issues very well compared to how most people deal with them. If I could have one thing that I would have done differently throughout the span of the relationship, is instead of encouraging Tommy to stay in the shithole he works at with all the pieces of shit he works with, because now he's one of them. He's exactly like the rest of them, even though, you know, he goes to church every once in a while and pretends he's not. You know what? That's not true. I shouldn't say he's exactly like one of them. Tommy still has one very redeeming quality, and that is that he's still a father to Leah, even though Leah was essentially his adopted child. If there was one do-over that I could have, when we were living in the apartment, way back when I started making YouTube videos, if I could have one do-over, I would, when he said, you know what, let's pack everything up and go live in Alabama near your dad, I would have said, let's do it. I would have got together every resource that I could have, and I would have left with him as soon as humanly possible. Because I feel like that would have been the only thing that could have made a remote difference. It's just really sad to me, because over my life, like over the span of everything, like, I chose him so carefully, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't just pick him. It's almost like I didn't have that choice, like it was chosen for me, I guess. That makes any sense. And the thing is that there were other people that wanted a relationship with me way back when, but I said no because I knew that they were not the kind of person that would be in it for the long haul, and Tommy really seemed like he would be the person that would. And the thing is people change on you so quickly in this day and age. It's so sad. Like, it's so sad how nobody wants to work for everything. Everybody just wants to have it, you know, and like how you promise you're always going to be there for somebody. Like, how can you promise you're always going to be there for somebody, with the exception if they're unfaithful to you, and then just be like, you know, for the last month or two, we've kind of been fighting a lot, so I just don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. It's so sad because I'm always going to love the person Tommy used to be, and there's nothing I can do about that. Like, just moving on isn't an option. And I hate that. I hate that I can't just go on like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't put my whole entire, every ounce of my life into what we had. That's what's so hard for me. I don't think I'll ever be able to make another video about this. Of course, that might change. Feelings always change, but as it stands, I don't think I can make another video about this. I think that this is it.